We thought this would be an opportune time for some poetry. We're calling these poems of presence. Since we launched Belladonna, I have always been looking for opportunities to adroitly sidestep such things as engaging with content or curating my feed or operationalizing or instrumentalizing my writing life or my reading life. I am always thinking about what I can offer, especially now in these moments in which grave damage is being wrought and we are caught up with witnessing great strife and dire need. I keep coming back to my desire for a container for transformation and resonance, and for the kind of certainty we can only find deep within ourselves. Perhaps after a lifetime of searching, we think this is an excellent vantage to read some poems that encourage us to breathe deep and that provide the best kind of pressure to stay down as long as possible and then to rise into the holiest of moments. We thought we'd accompany these poems with some music that is as stirring as any we've ever heard by the late Sonny Rollins, R.I.P., just last month, May, and the great Rahsaan Roland Kirk, who, if anyone could, might blow you right into glory. Rollins and Kirk provide the perfect register here, as when they play, they seem to be releasing a spirit or presence that swirls and lives among us in perpetuity. I'm calling these poems of presence after Louise Glick. This is what she said. Poems do not endure as objects, but as presences. When you read anything worth remembering, you liberate a human voice. You release into the world again a kind of companion spirit. I read poems to hear that voice, and I write to speak to those I've heard. We hope these poems take up residence in your soul or in your bones, or as some kind of phantom thread that might be holding your future these days. Okay, these are two brief poems from Patricia Smith from Intentions of Thunder. And you can see from the cover, she won the National Book Award. These poems are really stunning. So I'm going to read two of them. The first one is called Tea House of the Almighty, 2006. The poet meets Nicole in a Florida that's too much biting sun, but no sunshine. The little girl's mother had just died of need and needles. Nicole is scrawny and wide-eyed and terrifying when she asks the poet to please undead her mother, okay? And make a poem do that. The poet takes a deep breath and lies about magic. But it's not really lying because the tea house is a real place. The poet drives by it the day she divorced her husband and wonders how it feels inside. But it's closed, which gives her permission to see it. The teapot is scarred cast iron. The only tea they serve is murk gray, peppery, and scalding to burn away whatever you want gone. Like a gone mama, and grief numbing your little bones. Nicole and the poet have their own table right by the door. Jesus passes by all the time, trudging and slow smiling, but he never comes in. Okay, this next one is called Listening at the Door. Beneath the door, I could practically see the wretched slither of tobacco and English leather. Hiding on the other side, I heard Mama giggle through clenched teeth, which meant potential husband sitting spit-shined on our corduroy couch. The needle hit that first groove, and I wondered why Mama had chosen the blues. Wrong, Friday angled, when it was hope she needed. I pressed my ear against the door, heard dual damp panting, the Murphy bed squeal, the occasional directive, the sexless clink of jelly jar glasses. What drove me to listen those nights, when my mother let that fragrant man in, banished me to the back of the apartment, pretended she could shine above hurting. I'd rest my ear against the cool wood all night as she flipped through the 45s. Looking for Ray Charles, Stevie Wonder, somebody blind this time, somebody crawling on his knees toward love.